What you guys see in here is not a candlestick only. It is one of the most powerful technical tools we have as a trader that not many people are aware about or don't even know how to use it. This is something that the banks and institutions can't hide from you at all. This one tip that I'm going to give you today will put you 10 steps ahead of any other traders. It will help you to objectively place a trade following the right narrative in the market. Let's do it. Alright guys, we are back again. Buckle up because this lesson is going to be mind-blowing. I'm telling you that, so you better take notes and you better stay till the end because you're gonna have a massive breakthrough. So let's start. As always, we're gonna do our mind map process. So we're gonna be answering all these questions. So by the end of the video, you will know exactly from where we started and how we ended and what are the steps that you should have taken to understand the whole process. Okay, so what is the first question? Candle size, and what is it and why it matters. Now, I'm not going into fancy terminology as usual. My aim here is to help you guys to understand deeply, right, the logic of what is actually happening on the charts. And I do that by using always the simple approach possible. Now, candle size is something that literally clicked me a few years ago when I was trading. I started asking myself this question. I was like, okay, I need to trade. So I'm learning that in the market, there are certain type of patterns, right? So we see so many type of pattern, like head and shoulder, harmonic pattern, garlic pattern, whatever pattern you want to see. But then one thing that I was always asking to myself is, how come this candle, right? You see this one has a huge wick, but this one has a small wick? How come this one has a small body and this one has a huge body, right? So back in that time when I started, I wasn't paying that much attention to it. I heard a lot of people talking about the candlestick pattern, which is something that you guys probably heard a lot about. But I was thinking then, okay, what's the point for it? I mean, all I need to know is just how the pattern forms, isn't it? But then eventually, over the years, as long as I was progressing and learning, I realized that no, there was something going on behind it. So when I started, evolving and getting more experience, I started learning the size of the candle. It was actually absolutely important for me to be aware of because that's the size. Just knowing how big is a candle will actually tell you who are the participants that are taking actions from this point all the way to here. Bear with me because this is very crucial. Now, what do you mean by who are the participants that entered from this level over here, right? So look at this. Is 200, 222. So if you see here on the price, all the way down here, price was 198, 34 something, right? So whenever you place a trade on your MT4, you will never see market making a move just because you invested £100, £50, £200, £1,000, £10,000. No. But if somebody comes into the market and they invest billions and billion, because we're talking about a 7 trillion market on a daily basis movement, right? Then you know this type of movement happens in the market. So why is this telling you? Is that if this happens, that means that this is the most sensitive area. This is the most vulnerable area from where we as a small trader can do probably something, okay? So at that point, it clicked on my mind. I'm like, okay, so if that's the case, and I'm not capable of moving the market with my whatever investment I was doing, what is it that the right thing I should be following? What is the right thing I should be doing? I should be following the big boys, right? I should be following whoever is investing billions and billions from this point to this point. Why? Because I just need to follow their footstep to understand the intention of the market. Exactly, guys. That's what I'm saying, the size of the candle and why it matters. Because thanks to these candles over here, thanks to this candle over here, me as a retail trader, that I'm not capable of seeing what is actually happening inside these zones, right? I know that there are intentions that big boys, big institutions, people that has money and moving the market, they want to probably bring price further lower. When you see this, further lower, like for example here, right? So imagine when you saw this candle and then price retraced over here and then it went down. That means me as a retail trader, if I see the candle and I have this intention, then I can follow through from this level over here. Same as over here, I can follow through from this level over here. Do you guys understand how and why this matters? And trust me, this is just the tip of the iceberg, because what I'm going to show you here is going to give you even further breakthrough. So now, the same applies anytime. Why? Because here, for example, if you see these candles, if we jump on a higher time frame, I can promise you that it's going to be a massive, massive, strong candle over here, right? So let's see, 12 hour, 15 hour, here we go, daily. Okay, let's look at the 15 hour. Do you guys see the size of this candle? Now, this candle not only has a size, but it has also broken a structure over here. Okay, so this is very, very important, and that's why you want to see, guys, next, that price can create the size of the candle, but the candle size has to do something as well. And that's what brings us to the second question, which is the narrative. What narrative you need to use and understand for the volume and the size of a candlestick? Because while you're watching this video, many of you guys now be like, okay, 1 second. So if that's the case, how come I can see big candles happening everywhere? Because you do actually see it. Like, for example, here, right? You see price huge candles, big candles, and then again, big candles. But what you guys have to understand, that the big candles will always be in the market. Because as I said, we will not be able to make this move over there, right? We are never going to be able to do that. However, asking ourselves the right question, what exactly this big candle happens, will actually help us a lot, like a lot. And one of these places is first from the break of structure. When you have a break of structure with that huge candle we've seen 15 hour, that is a pure intention, because this is helping us as a trader to see the price action wise and volume wise, price is showing a clear intention of going to the downside. That's one. The second one, which is in my opinion, the most important one after the break of structure, is from the POY. So what do you mean by POY? Guys, follow me, because if you understand what I'm showing to you step by step, the amount of breakthrough you're gonna have is gonna be mind-blowing. Okay, the market, okay, I know a lot of people talks about, liquidity, ICT, blah, 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 whatever, fine. But at the end of the day, whatever liquidity, whatever ICT, whatever FVG you use, you cannot neglect to yourself the fact that price moves only with the two major participants, buyers and sellers. There's nothing else, buyers and sellers. So if you understand where the buyers are and where the sellers are, so, right, then at that point, it will be way clear for you to understand how price moves from one point to another one, and how we can use their footprint to use it on our advantage. Okay, so this over here is a supply zone. This over here is a demand zone. So if you have price, it's going from here to here, right? From this zone, and it's starting going higher, right? And it's making the structure, it's going higher, it's making the structure. It comes over here as a supply zone, guys. Supply zones means there are a lot of sellers over here. Okay, the buyers that have been going up from all this level all the way to this zone, okay, they are entering in the seller's house now. Okay, so if the buyers are dominant, they will probably break through the seller zones, and then is where you see this type of pattern happening. But if that's not the case, then buyers will arrive somewhere around here, knocking onto the seller's door. Okay, just follow through this, coming to the seller zone, and then you as a trader, not knowing the amount of orders over here or what is actually going on over here, what is it that you think you should be waiting for? Exactly, you should be waiting for what we discussed so far. This. Why? Because this candles from this zone is validating and is telling you that something is going on, that buyers are losing control, right? And that the sellers are entering the market. On the top of that, if you see also break of structure, then that's a bingo. By the way, as I always say to you guys, market is all about probability. Okay, so we're dealing with statistics. I don't want you guys to jump on the chart and be like, oh, price coming to supply, breaking the structure, I'm taking the trade, I'm hitting a stop loss. Of course, that will happen, because market is all about probability. Don't ever forget that. Okay, but when you have this, right, so going back to what we're saying, that is showing you intention. This over here, just this side of the market, is showing you intention. It's telling you that people, big sharks, are entering the market. So we as a retail trader, we gonna follow through them to bring price from here now to all the way down here. Okay, so what is it that we're expecting? We're gonna be expecting a retracement, and that's exactly where we as a trader gonna be jumping in. Because once we jump in from here, then we're gonna go to the next point, which is in this case the demand zone. And what do you guys think is going to happen on the demand zone? The same exact thing. Sellers are taking control. So imagine now sellers are doing this, coming over here, entering in the buyer's house. And once they're in, you're going to be waiting patiently like a hunter. Okay, you're waiting. The price doing this, and then boom, suddenly you see this to the upside. There we go. You see a huge candle, wait for the retracement, and then we're gonna take that to the next level upwards for the next supply or whatsoever. Okay, this what I just did over here briefly, right, and in depth is what I say over here, what narrative you use to understand the volume and size of the candlestick. So the narrative is always understanding where exactly are you sitting. And that's why I told you before, like you can see the size of the candle everywhere, right? Like everywhere. For example, here, big candles. But you need to know from what exactly you want to see the size of it. Like for example, look at this one. Price tapped into this demand zone, right? Then you can see there is a small body and then suddenly it's pushing to the upside. This candle over here in 4 hours is something that you and me will never be able to do it. That means something is going on. Some fucker is going on over here. So you can jump on the chart. Look at this, the same exact thing over here. Price breaks over here. We've seen in 15 hour. This has been broken. There was a huge massive candle. Price is retracing, coming over here. And then therefore is stepping into the supply, right? And then next thing you know, huge candle to the downside. Wait for the retracement, right? Bam, you pull the trigger over here. Huge to the downside, breaking to the structure, and now price is somewhere on there. And what do you guys think will be ideal now for price to do? It's coming into this, right, which is already there in the supply, and then probably price from there. By the way, let me just take this one a little to the right. Okay, 1 second. So I'm putting this one over here, right? Beautiful. Now the next thing you know is that price broke to the downside. It came over here. This is today is what is it? It's Sunday, so you have to wait for tomorrow, which is Monday, and then probably for somewhere around there, price should be doing something like this. Okay, that's what would be ideal. Now, don't take this as a signal, please, guys. Everything shared over here is for educational purposes. But what I'm saying is this, and then if price does something like that, what is it? Breaks to the upside, then this could potentially retrace over here and then keep going higher. Okay, as simple as that. Don't overcomplicate it. That's it. This is it. So now what is happening is that this is the reason why I was telling you guys that you have to always build a narrative based on the POY where you are exactly. You must know candles with volume. Another important factor, and this is something that I'm giving you as a literally important bonus, is that not all the time you will see price doing a fat candle breaking the structure. Many times you could also see, right, that there is a wick. So you see the wick comes all the way down here and there is a body that get absorbed. So at that point, like for example, let's say in this one, right? So if we stay, let me see. Okay, that's fine. Let me go to, what is it, 15 hour, the one that we saw over here, right? So if we go over here, right, you can see that there is a massive body over here. Price breaks and then there is a wick. Now, this is for me a breaker structure. I validate that as a breaker structure. But however, many times what you're gonna see is that this wick is actually over here. So you see a massive drop and then the wicks comes all the way up there. So in that case, what is it that I do, and I suggest you guys to do, is that wait for smaller time frame confirmation on your right. Okay, so what do you mean by that? Is that if, for example, let's go back to, what is it, on this drawing. Okay, so one second. All right, so let's go back to this drawing we had prior over here. So now, for example, imagine, oh, damn it. 1 second, what's going on over here now? All right, okay, 1 second. Okay, here we go. So now imagine, right, that price is over here. And then now, for whatever reason, you see a massive wick to the downside. Okay, like a massive wick. So this one comes somewhere around there. Okay, so price breaks everything, but then it absorbs like crazy. Okay, then it becomes like this. So at that point, usually, what I tend to do is I give further extra confluence before I take the trade, which means is that I wait for price to retrace, and then when I see again a smaller time frame break, then I align back with the narrative. Why that? Because sometimes this reaction, what I'm telling you guys, can be also a fake breaker structure, can be also a fake out. So we don't know. All we know is the intention is there because sellers are entering the market. They're breaking everything. They're not respecting any more demands or buyers or anything at all, right? They're breaking through. But if they don't close with the body whatsoever, not showing the pure volume on it, right? Then at that point, it would be ideal for you to get an extra confluence. But if you do see the body as well on the top, that shows like pure volume on it, then what is going on is that you can easily leave a pending order over here. That's the two must know candles that I was talking about here. You guys need to be aware of. Regardless of body closure or wick, I always personally take everything as a break of structure. Body or wick, I don't care. I take as a break of structure. But by body wick, I can understand the intention. If I have a body, that, okay, is a high intention. If I see a wick, I will be like, okay, careful. Let me see if I can get any extra further confluence. But regardless, I will anyway go for a sell. Okay? So this is something I want you guys to take away from that as well. And this is something you should be backtesting for you to understand even better. Candlestick pattern, do they really work? One bonus tip. Oh boy. Okay. So me personally, I never traded candlestick. As I said to you guys before, I didn't care. I was seeing this, that, but whatever. I was just trading patterns that were forming the market. Never care about the candlestick pattern. However, there is one bonus I want to give as well, which is before you ever see, okay, any huge candles, majority of the time, it's not most of the time, you will see this candle happening. Look at this. This, right? Then you have, sorry, that's quite pretty big over here. Anyway, so you have this, then you have this to the downside, and then you got this to the upside. Now, I know a lot of people, they call it dodgy, morning star, sun star, I don't know, evening star, whatever star. I don't care what star is it. All I care is that for me, for a simple word, I use dodgy. But pretty much that's what you're going to be seeing. Now, why this is important? Okay, this itself is not just a candlestick size pattern. This, it tells you a story. It tells you that somewhere within the zone, price is doing this, which is ranging, right? So that ranging is telling you what? That there are indecisions. Buyers or sellers enter in that predominant zone where now they're deciding what is it they should be doing next. And when they decide what they should be doing next, in this case, if they do this, then is the exact moment where you guys see this engulfing happening. And people call it engulfing. Exactly. This body, huge body, they call it engulfing. So that's why exactly you see this engulfing candle happening, huge candle happening. So why I'm telling you this and giving you the bonus tip? Because when price is entering a supply zone, right? If you want to know when exactly you might see a huge engulfing to the downside, pay attention to this. This is something that will happen like almost 100% of the time. Why? Because if you guys know how supply and demand works, this is a base and this is a drop. So usually you have a rally, you have a base over here, and then you have a drop. Okay, so in supply demand trading, that's how they call it. And this will be always there because price, once it reaches an important key level, will always battle between buyers and sellers to understand what direction they should be taking next. So if you train your eyes to spot this, wait for this to happen next. Indeed, if I'm not mistaken, I literally showed you this example before, right? I told you price step over here. Look at this. Do you guys see the body of this candle? Look at this. Price drops, so you got drop, then you got base, and then you got rally. So that's something they will see every single damn time. And now the question is, okay, what if I don't see it? What is it exactly? Look at this. You see this? Over here, you have rally, you got this base, price pushes one more time higher, and then it drops. And you'll be like, okay, but your pattern is not working. No, it works. But what you guys don't understand and you don't see is that there is a timing factor. So in this case, from this time frame, this is what you see. But if it's confusing, you go higher, and look at this. You got the dodgy, and then you got the drop. Okay? It's all the time the same exact story. Always. So that's why you need to train your eyes every time to do this. And the same goes over here. Look at this. You got rally, base, rally, you got base, and then you got massive drop to the downside. And then again, price comes back to it. So this is something they're going to give you a lot of heads up. Like you will be way ahead of any other trader because you will know, okay, when exactly you should be prepare yourself, from where, how, and what is the narrative that you should be following. And then how do you use now this candlestick to make money? I mean, come on, that's pretty obvious based on everything that we see so far, right? How do you do it? You basically react to it, okay? You have to react all the time to it. So for example, we had a break over here, right? Showing you an example on the chart now. We got break over here, price comes back over here, and then if you follow through the small narrative, so if you follow through what's going on over here, you then go to smaller time frame, because that's a multi-time frame analysis. Okay, so if we go over here, you can clearly see, check this out, right? Look at this. Here, price entered the supply zone, and then it started building. Do you guys remember the base from a higher time frame? But look at this over here. When price comes in a smaller time frame, right? In 15, you can see already there are a lot of indecision happening over here. So if you play with the time frame and you spot your candlestick, right? In this case, I go to 25 minutes. I think we should be able to see something exactly. Look at this. You got a base and then you got drop. Unfortunately, at this stage, you did not have any price coming back to it for you to take the trade, which is okay because this is probability. But then don't forget that everything is fractured in the market. So as soon as this breaks to the downside, what do you guys think is going to be doing? The same thing. It's going to be retracing, right, over here, and then you can pull the trigger from exactly this zone right there. And that's your trade, ladies and gentlemen, right? You could have taken this trade. You want to take this one step further, you can even go smaller time frame. So if you go to smaller time frame, deep dive into it. Let's see what's going on over here, right? Let's see. Okay, look at this. Check this out. Price comes over here, goes down, goes up, break the structure, right? Do you guys see the break of structure over here? Look at this. Break the structure over here from the supply zone, and then you could have easily left a pending order exactly right there, okay? And this itself could have been a massive trade. And I'm telling you guys, based on the I trade, I could have refined that even way further, like even make it way smaller. Look at this. That's 8 pips, which is literally nothing on GBP, GPY, right? And where exactly is your target, guys? Your target is going to be all the way down here. Why? Why is it going to be all the way down there? Because you know the intention based on the candlestick size we've seen before, right? You remember 4 hours. We now retraced, and then now we're just following through a line with what the big boys are doing. Eventually, this trade from here is a 1 to 14 and have potential for even 1 to 30 and further, right? So do you guys understand why knowing about the candlestick size and the narrative and the story, it is crucial? And this is something that I used to underestimate so much, so much. And now I'm providing all of this based on my experience literally for free. So if you guys enjoyed so far, make sure that you like the video, comment on the video, because this will literally help a lot to the channel growth, okay? So let's make it happen. Now, one thing that literally I know based on after everything I said is that a lot of people, they struggle to understand, right, what type of pattern they should be trading, what type of setup they should be trading. And there are so many setups that you should be trading when price reaches your supply zone or your demand zone. And in order for you to know how you should classify them, then make sure you watch this video over here, because in this video I go through on A+ setup, how you achieve the A+ setup, and all the other setup like B setup, C setup, and D setup, because there are so many setups that you might not be even aware of. And the A setup is what you need to have if you want to make money. So make sure that you watch that.